Ben Stiller and Eddie Murphy team up to rob an embezzler. We will be reviewing the Tower Heist.
Will Eddie Murphy have a hit or a flop? Dave and I will be sharing our views of this movie. Checking out our B&D reviews. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave.
And like we said, we'll be reviewing Tower Heist. Ben Stiller plays a building manager of a luxury apartments called the Tower, and one of the richest tenants, Artie Shaw, played by Alan Alda, is accused of being part of a Ponzi scheme. And on top of that, he was put in charge of the employees' pension fund at the Tower, and that looks like it's all gone too. So Ben Stiller decides to somehow break into that apartment at the top of the tower and get the money that's supposed to be hidden back. He tries to help with Sly, a petty criminal played by Eddie Murphy, as well as a couple of the employees of the tower. Well, Dave, this movie, when I was watching this movie is like a throwback to some of the earlier Eddie Murphy films, you know, like action comedies like There's 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cops, and then something like Trading Places, which was a comedy too. So this was definitely like a homage to Eddie Murphy's earlier films in a way.
Right. Yeah, this was definitely that same kind of humor and that same kind of acting that he always does. You know, that quirky, loud type of thing like he used to do in the 80s. But it's what he's well known for, and it's what he's funny with. So.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, the movie started out mildly funny in the beginning. I was getting a few chuckles here and there.
Yeah.
But then when Eddie Murphy's story took off, when he gets out of jail, it literally went to a whole nother level. There was some good comedy sequences. I found myself laughing really hard at the movie. Like there's stuff where the scene where they're picking the lock and they're planning the robbery.
Yeah.
You know, those were really funny scenes. The third act, it kind of fizzled out a little bit. I mean, there was some tension in the scenes that needed it.
Yeah.
But overall, I was expecting a little bit more comedy out of that bit.
But the first half of the movie works because you come to know the characters and you basically find out everything about them, and it helps to lead up to the middle and the end of the movie really well. So
yeah, I was kind of shocked with that. Usually with action movies and lately with comedies, there's not really a lot of character development. You know, sometimes they're cardboard characters where they just represent a human emotion. Here, like you said, you get to know the characters, and I was kind of surprised when I saw this. Usually you don't really get that with Brett Ratner's bigger films like Rush Hour and stuff like that. But, and it's nice to see Eddie Murphy doing something that he's well known for, because lately he's been doing, voices in animated cartoons, and he's had flops like Imagine That and Meet Dave, which did very well at the box office. And I like the fact that we don't know the plan to the heist.
Right.
Usually in action movies, they'll talk, okay, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and while that's happening, you actually see the heist take place with the voiceover for them explaining what they're supposed to do. I liked that they didn't do that because I got surprised a few times. There was a few twists, and I think the comedy worked kind of well with that.
Yeah, they basically they don't tell you anything what's going to happen, and they basically were like winging it, playing it by ear, and it worked out the way it did. So.
And the acting was pretty good too. Everybody, I think, for the most part, was good. There's Ben Stiller. And you said something that you think Ben Stiller. This is one of his better performances.
Yeah, this was like much better than a lot of the stuff he's been. He's been in some real junk lately. Stuff that hasn't worked, and he may very well maybe get an award for this. 'Cause I doubt it, but come close anyway.
Yeah, this is one of his better performances. I think everybody, for the most part, was good. Eddie Murphy was good, Stiller was good. Matthew Broderick plays a character who quotes TV and movies stuff.
Yeah.
This character, he's a guy that's about to get evicted, who's getting evicted from the tower. He's really good here, and Michael Pena is one of the conspirators in the heist is good. Right. I wasn't quite crazy about Casey Affleck's character. I don't know why. I didn't really like him that much. And of course there's another character, an employee who's studying to be a lawyer. There's all good performances. That's pretty much what kept me through the first third of the movie, was the performances.
Right.
Without those good performances, I probably would have not gotten into the movie at first.
And it was good to see Alan Alda too, because you don't see much of him anymore. I mean, his he's well known for his work on the TV show MASH and everything, but since that show canceled and all that, you really haven't seen him. You see him here and there in certain sitcoms playing like a small role, but this is probably one of his big roles for him in a long time.
Yeah.
And he's still up on his game, even though he doesn't look anything like he used to, and he looks a lot older.
Yeah, he's like a Bernie Madoff character, you know. And this movie is relevant because there's been a lot of people that's been accused of, you know, fraud, embezzling, like, you know, Bernie Madoff, and then over in Illinois there's stuff going on with Rod Blagojevich, who was the former governor.
Right.
There's a lot. This movie is quite relevant now, you know, and I think everybody was really good in this movie. Casey Affleck, like I said, I wasn't crazy about. So how would you rate this movie?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna give it a mild see it in theaters, because I enjoyed it, even though it was kind of slow and kind of dumb at times, but it pretty much kept my attention, especially the first half. I mean, it was good enough, even though it wasn't as good as the middle part or the last part. But it still kept my attention through the whole movie. So.
Okay, well, when the movie first started, I was in rented on DVD territory, but when Eddie Murphy's story picked up, that's when it really got funny, and I really enjoyed myself. So I'll probably give it a mild see in theaters too, mostly because it's amusing entertainment, and, you know, it's good escapist fare. But this isn't really a great movie. There's some plot holes, like you said. There's some dumb parts, and there's things that don't make sense that happen. But, you know, it's good escapist fare. If you're looking for a way to be entertained for a couple hours, I think this movie fills that void.
Big Eddie Murphy fans are going to enjoy this, I think.
It's a comeback in a way.
Yeah, and Ben Stiller fans are going to be proud of this, because it's a lot better than a lot of the stuff he's been doing. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's our review of Tower Heist. So go ahead and leave your comments about the video or about this movie, and thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video.